Have you ever felt as if the world around you was trying to tell you something? Not in loud voices, not with clear words, but in quiet, mysterious ways, like whispers hidden inside ordinary moments. Maybe you've noticed patterns repeating in your life, a number that keeps showing up, a conversation that feels strangely timed, a feeling that something is watching, guiding, testing you, and maybe you've brushed it off, told yourself it was just coincidence, just randomness, just your imagination. But what if it's not? What if those whispers are not random at all, but messages? What if the universe itself is trying to get your attention? Plato once said that reality is like shadows on a cave wall, that most people only see fragments of the truth, never the full picture. But what if those fragments, those cracks of light, are exactly where the universe chooses to speak to you? Today, I want to show you the 7 signs the universe is trying to talk to you. And more importantly, I want you to see what happens if you ignore them. Sign number 1, synchronicities that defy logic. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, moments when 2 or more events line up in ways that can't be explained by chance, like thinking of a friend, and seconds later, they call you, or stumbling upon a book that contains the exact sentence you needed to read at that moment in your life. These are not accidents, they are threads in a much larger tapestry, moments when the veil between you and the infinite thins. The universe does not speak in human language, it speaks in signs, patterns, and echoes, and synchronicity is the universe's way of nudging you, whispering, wake up, pay attention, ignore them, and they fade. Follow them, and you step into alignment with something far greater than yourself. Sign number 2, repeated obstacles or delays. Ever notice how sometimes, no matter how hard you push, doors refuse to open, flights get canceled, jobs slip away, relationships crumble before they even begin? It feels like punishment, but what if it's not punishment at all? What if it's protection? Nietzsche once wrote, "Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed." The universe destroys illusions by closing doors that would lead you astray. That delay, that rejection, that unexpected failure, it may not be the end of your path. It may be the redirection that saves your soul. Sign number 3, emotional storms that refuse to be ignored. You cry without reason. You feel anger boiling over small things. You laugh uncontrollably at the smallest joy. These emotional waves are not weakness. They are messages. Your soul is trying to purge what your mind has buried. Psychologists say trauma that is not transformed gets transmitted, passed on to others, onto your children, onto your own future. But when emotions erupt out of nowhere, it's often because your soul is saying, "It's time, let this go. Heal." These are not breakdowns, they are breakthroughs. Ignore them, and the wound festers. Listen to them, and the wound becomes wisdom. Sign number 4, numbers, symbols, and sacred patterns. Have you been seeing the same numbers over and over? 1111, 333, or maybe the same animal appears everywhere you look. This is the universe using archetypes, the language of the unconscious mind. Machiavelli warned that most people are blind to symbols, too distracted by survival to see meaning. But mystics across cultures knew numbers and patterns are how the divine communicates. To the logical mind, they are nonsense. To the awakened soul, they are coordinates, pointing you toward where you're meant to go. Sign number 5, the collapse of what you once believed. One of the most terrifying yet holy signs, when your old worldview begins to crumble. The beliefs you inherited from parents, religion, society, they suddenly feel hollow. You start asking dangerous questions. What if I've been living someone else's life? What if everything I thought I knew isn't true? This collapse is sacred. Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." But freedom does not come gently. It comes by fire, burning away the illusions that once gave you comfort. If your beliefs are crumbling, it may feel like death, but in reality, it is rebirth. Sign number 6, the pull toward solitude and silence. Suddenly, parties feel empty. Noise drains you. Even being around certain people feels unbearable. Instead, you crave silence, the sound of your own breath. Moments when the world disappears and you can hear your own soul again. In an age where distraction is currency, silence becomes rebellion. It is in solitude that prophets received visions, philosophers birthed ideas, and mystics found God. When you feel this pull, honor it. The universe is not isolating you. It is inviting you into communion with yourself. Sign number 7. A subtle but unshakable sense of purpose. This is the most profound sign of all. It begins as a whisper. You are here for something greater. Not fame, not wealth, not ego. Something deeper. The Stoics believed each soul carried a divine spark, what they called the logos. When you start to feel that spark, life stops being random. Even your suffering feels woven into a larger story. This purpose is not chosen by you. It was planted in you before you were born. The universe is not asking you to invent it, only to remember it. The integration phase. When signs become transformation, noticing the signs is only the beginning. The real question is, what do you do with them? Because the universe does not send signals just for entertainment. They are meant to be integrated, woven into the fabric of your daily life. This is the most overlooked stage of awakening. People feel synchronicities, sense purpose, crave solitude, but then they go back to their old habits, scrolling, numbing, forgetting. And so the signs fade. But when you choose to honor them, something shifts. You begin to live with intention. Psychologists call this embodiment, when knowledge is not just something you think, but something you breathe, something you become. Mystics describe it as alignment, the moment your inner world and outer actions begin to move in harmony. It's not always glamorous. Sometimes it looks like leaving relationships that no longer fit. Sometimes it means quitting a job that drains your soul. Sometimes it means sitting in silence while everyone else rushes. But this is the alchemy of awakening. The whispers of the universe become choices. The choices become habits, and the habits become a new life. Plato wrote that philosophy is not about words, but about a way of living. Spiritual awakening is the same. It is not a theory. It is practice. It is embodiment. And the more you live aligned, the more clearly the universe speaks. Louder, brighter, undeniable. The uncomfortable truth. But here's what no one tells you. The universe does not speak to everyone. Most people sleep their entire lives, ignoring the signs until their final breath. And maybe that's easier, because to listen is to change. To listen is to leave behind the life you've outgrown. The universe whispers to those who are ready to wake up. If you are hearing these signs, if they resonate with you, it is because you are being called. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. The choice is yours, so what do you do when the universe speaks? You have two choices. Ignore the signs, dismiss them as coincidence, and stay asleep. Or listen, follow them, risk everything you thought was real, and step into the mystery. Plato would say, you can return to the shadows on the cave wall, or you can walk toward the fire. The path is terrifying. It demands sacrifice, but it is also the only path that leads to truth. So if you've felt these signs in your life, don't ignore them. Don't wait for another lifetime to awaken, because the universe has been whispering to you all along. The only question is, will you finally listen? If this video stirred something inside you, subscribe and join me on this journey. Together, we will explore the mysteries of the soul, the wisdom of the ancients, and the light hidden within the shadows.